Hello there, time for another video. I thought probably well overdue, a couple of videos to be honest. Yeah, it's been a bit sporadic lately. Yeah, there's been a few things going on. Main thing, I sort of was made redundant at work a few weeks ago. Yeah, it wasn't a great surprise to be honest, I knew it was coming, but yeah, it still takes a little bit of time to wrap your head around. Yeah, it's been a strange few weeks, but I think I'm getting there. I'd been there sort of 20 years, so it's yeah, it's a little bit of an adjustment, and I need to work out what the hell I'm going to do next. Yeah, I've got a bit of time to do that, so yeah, try not to panic or stress about it too much. But yeah, so it's been a bit weird the last few weeks. But anyway, initially I have been, so I have got a bit more time on my hands now, obviously, which is I guess good from a hobby point of view. I spent a couple of weeks initially, sunk a bit of time into Assassin's Creed on the PlayStation, which is yeah, I love those games, really good fun. But they are a bit of a time sink, and you don't have a great deal to show for it afterwards. So yeah, sort of finished that, and I've been doing a bit of painting the last week or so, getting back into it. So these guys I actually did before I gave away time to the PS4. But I finished basing them a couple of days ago. Just 4 groups of French infantry, warlord games, I think, except for the officer, who I think is from Victrix. He's got a cat hair or something hanging off his sword. Anyway, yeah, I think he's from Victrix, the officer, from their old guard box. But I needed a couple of extra officers, and I had him lying around, so he'll do. Yeah, say warlord games. You've seen some of these before. I've done plenty of these sorts of figures, so nothing majorly exciting. I think the only thing worthy of note with these was I used contrast paints for the greatcoats. I'm slowly dipping my toe in the contrast pond. I was a bit wary about them, but yeah, the more I use them, the happier I am with them. Really, I don't think I'd use them for everything, but certainly for. I find on these guys for the backpacks, for example, where the backpacks have got some good texture on them. Probably doesn't show up in the light very well, but where the backpacks actually have some decent texture on them, they seem quite decent for that. They're certainly good for horses. Don't like painting horses, and they give us as good a finish as I'd probably get on a horse, and they do it very quickly and easily. And whereas I'd take hours to get the same sort of finish otherwise. With these ones, yeah, I tried them on the greatcoats. You think greatcoats are easy to paint, or greatcoated figures would be quick and easy to paint, and that doesn't really work for me. I've found in the past when I've done these figures, it takes me ages to highlight the coats, to be honest. Yeah, you give them your normal colour, and then you wash them, and then go back and try and highlight afterwards, and they take forever. So I thought I'd try the contrast and see how they worked out. I think the finish is, yeah, it's pretty reasonable actually. I'm fairly happy with that, and it saved me an absolute ton of time. So. Yeah, I think that's probably a win, and something I'd carry on doing in the future. But yeah, as I say, you've seen lots of these before, so I won't dwell on these ones too much, and we'll move on to the main purpose of this video, I think, or the main subject. Yeah, so it's new project time. Particularly planned to buy these, but I played in a sharp practice event in Bristol a few weeks ago. Yeah, really nice weekend. It was both Saturday and Sunday. We played 4 games against 4 different opponents. Mixed results. Won a couple, lost a couple, but yeah, that's not really the point, is it? I had a really nice weekend. Couldn't do the sociable bit in the evening. These sorts of things tend to involve sort of a curry or something in the evening, but the current circumstances meant that wasn't feasible. But yeah, still had a really nice weekend. So played some nice games, and while I was there. It was at Bristol Independent Gaming, or BIG, I think as it's commonly known. It's a fantastic shop there, which has got pretty much everything you can think of, or certainly everything I could want anyway. They seem to have there in a pretty small shop, but it seems to have everything. So yeah, I've been sort of umming and ahhing with these for a little while. No great plans to do them in a hurry, but I've got a lot of 15mm Austrian Napoleonics, which I enjoy for big battle games. While I was in the shop. Big, I saw some. They're doing all the 28mm plastic Austrians. They had Victrix and Perry, all the Victrix sets. So I bought myself 2 or 3 sets and thought, sorry, I'll do a small force for sharp practice. I've since gone on the Perry website and ordered a few skirmishers and a gun. So yeah, for not very much money, I've put together a really nice little force, which I'm now in the process of painting up. These, for most people probably know, these are sort of the Austrian line infantry. I've done 24 of these. I haven't put them all up, just a little sample, and I haven't based them yet because I normally put these on 2Ps and I've pretty much run out of those, so I need to probably think about getting some washers or something. So I like to put them on something metallic so I can magnetise everything. So yeah, that's to be decided. But other than that, these are finished. So as I say, I've done 24. These are all Victrix. Actually, really nice figures, go together really well. Lots of different heads and everything else. Maybe slightly limited in the body poses, but there's enough there to keep it interesting. And I did a little conversion with this guy, just cut a Shaco off and stuck it in his hand, and I found I think that might be a gripping beast, Dark Age warrior head. I've got loads of those kicking around, and they're so useful for lots of different things. Yeah, just to make it look a bit different. So these were done. Yeah, the other thing with these, I wanted to try and I've got quite a lot of them, and obviously white is not necessarily everyone's favourite colour to paint, so I wanted to find a way of doing it sort of quickly and painlessly. I tried a few different things, tried a few sort of tests and test models, and tried a few different ideas, but in the end I settled on, because when I'm doing the white uniform I tend to do it as sort of a warmer white, so I'd normally use something like Vallejo pale sand, then obviously a wash, Nuln oil normally, and then go over that with an ivory to get the sort of highlight. I wanted to try and get that, but in a slightly quicker way if I could. So what I ended up doing was I primed them in. I got an Army Painter colour primer, Skeleton Horde, which is sort of not a million miles away from the pale sand. Put that on, and then I was able to just do the just leave that was basically the base coat for the white. Painted all the other colours on, then Nuln oil, and then highlight, and that saved me quite a bit of time, I think, because normally I'd have had to do, if I'd undercoated grey as I normally do, I'd had to do a couple of coats of the pale sand, and so yeah, I think I saved myself quite a lot of time doing that, which is good, and I don't think it's affected the result, to be honest. I'm still fairly happy with how they've turned out. I used contrast again on the backpacks because yeah, it's that Gore Grunter fur, is it? I think God knows what a Gore Grunter is or what sort of colour his fur is meant to be, but it sort of comes out the right sort of colour for those backpacks anyway, so yeah, it seems to work for me. So yeah, so I've done, say, 24 of these, which are the nice start of a force. I've done some others as well. Yeah, and also bought some landwear. These are the Perry figures. They're not showing up brilliantly in the light here, to be honest. I'll try and get some stills up at the end, maybe that'll show them up a little bit better. But these, I really did go for speed painting with these ones. Undercoated them grey, and then I deliberately picked out, Perry's do a really nice sheet in the box of different, obviously the different uniforms you can get. I can get that in shot, probably not very easily. Yeah, there you go. There's all the landwear units available, or a selection of landwear units. You can paint them up as if you wish to. And I picked the easiest one to do, or what I thought would be the quickest one to do. So, light grey trousers, dark grey top, some red edging, some red facings. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Black strapping, and I used again. I sort of tried out the contrast paints again. So I used a couple of different greys. I used where are we? Space Wolves grey. Again, God knows what colour a Space Wolf's meant to be, but it sort of looked the right sort of light grey for the trousers I wanted. Possibly a little bit dark, but I think it's okay. And then what's the other one? Basilicanum grey is the dark grey for the top or the jacket. Yeah, so again worked out quite well. The Gore Grunter fur contrast on the backpack, and yeah, it came together quite nicely. I didn't feel the need to do any highlight on the contrast paint there. I think it's done it for me. So yeah, I was quite pleased with those. Again, I've done 16 of these. I'm going to do 32 in total, and I'm sort of cracking through the other 16 at the moment. So when I've done those, I'm well on the way to having the force done, to be honest. I've got some more line to do, and I've got some grenadiers as well from Victrix. And as I say, just a few skirmishes and a gun from Perry. So yeah, coming along okay. Yeah, now I've got the time to be doing these now, so I'm actually spending quite a bit of time on them and getting through them quite quickly. I think I'm going to start looking for a new job in September is the plan. I don't think anyone's hiring in August anyway, typically. and it seems like a nice opportunity to have a little bit of a break before deciding what I want to do. So yeah, so expect to see a few more of these hopefully over the next few weeks. We'll see how we go. One other thing as well, it's a silly little throwaway. I did that. German Shepherd dog. It's out the Warlord Games farmyard animal set. I bought it a while ago with a view to just making some scatter terrain. Ultimately, the prospects of painting farm animals didn't really excite me that much, so I built them and primed them and never got around to really painting them. They're still there to do, and one day I'll get to them. But it just occurred to me German Shepherd dog would look quite good on a Austrian command base. So I've got a few mounted generals and things which I'm going to use to make deployment points and what have you. So I'll probably stick that on one of those. That'll make it a little bit more interesting, and it's quite sort of fitting, I thought. So yeah, so that is basically it. That's what I've been up to lately. So I've done about 40 figures in about a week there, which I thought was pretty good for me. Maybe this unemployment's not so bad after all. Certainly getting plenty done now on this anyway. So yeah, that's about it really. I think not a lot else to say. Yeah, sorry for the absence. I'm a bit behind watching the videos again. Where I took a couple of weeks away from the hobby, I tend to watch my videos when I'm painting. So I ended up stacking up a couple of hundred videos that I needed to watch. A hell of a backlog, but I'm about halfway through it now, and I'm getting there. So I will get to your videos and commenting on them as and when I can. And yeah, but keep them coming, because they are, now I'm back into the painting, they are keeping me entertained. Hopefully this will do the same for somebody else. So yeah, always good to contribute and be involved. So yeah, that's about it. As I say, thanks for watching, subscribing, everything else. Look after yourselves. Hope everyone's well, stays well, and we'll speak to you again soon, no doubt. Take care. Cheerio.